should the 49ers make one final run with the cap space they have at Jadeveon Clowney? I ask that because he's still around. He could go back to the Seahawks. And the Niners now do have injuries at defensive end. Both D Ford and Nick Bosa have injured. What is that noise?
It's one of these two at the bottom here.
Hey.
Is it Leo?
It's Leo or Jack, one of those two.
Yeah, it's Leo.
All right. It is Leo.
Go after Clowney, and if so, why? If not, should they go after someone else? Because I'll just tell you, as someone who's been watching camp, Deion Jordan, my goodness. He looks like a first-round pick. I can totally see how he got picked that high, but he just never wins. So should they get someone, if not Clowney? Maverick, start us off.
Well, Clowney was an $8 million cap hit last year, I believe, and the Niners have, I think, a little over $6 million. So I'm not sure he's willing to take that $2 million pay cut, or at least in cap standing. I think if he was willing, he would have done that already with a variety of teams. He's definitely worth that money, but a $6 million alone. But I just don't think he's worth that. If we were just going off of defensive ends, I'd have to definitely do more look on who I'd want. But I personally think having Deion Jordan, I know you're not a big fan of him, Grant, but Deion Jordan as your third pass rusher, I don't think that's a big problem. And we were talking about what I would do for the final roster. And I think just having Bosa, Armstead, Ford, and then, Kerry Hyder's been talked up a lot. And then I think that's good enough, at least for the first couple weeks. And there could be a lot more veterans cut.
I think Maverick, they have a little over 8 million, I believe. I could be wrong on that, but whatever. Let's just say it's 6 to just over 8 million, and all that for him at this point. That's kind of a value deal essentially, especially since what he got offered, like a 15 million per, and this guy was looking for 18, 20 or whatever ludicrous contract he was going for. I don't trust him because there's some effort issues with him, especially from last season. Like watching, I remember like the first Niner Seahawks game, week 10. I watched a few Seahawks games, and I just couldn't see where he was in the field. He was on the field. I just couldn't see where he was because he wasn't doing anything. That's why I was so shocked at how he just blossomed in that week 10. Like, what? This guy just – what did this guy try for? He literally Pete Carroll sat him down like, look, man, can you just go hard for this one game? Because I can see Pete Carroll is a bargaining guy with these players. He bros down with them like, hey, straight up, I need you to ball out for this game. And he did. He destroyed Joe Staley and company and everyone. I thought it was so odd because he was – and then after that, he didn't do nothing. Week 17 didn't do nothing. So, no, I don't think – yeah, he bros down with them. So I can see Pete Carroll
for what Pete Carroll does. It's true.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So, yeah, no, it wouldn't be I just don't think he's worth that full on $8 million if that's it. Even if it's $6 million, sure, but I think the 49ers, it behooves them more to roll over that money towards next year, especially since that cap is going to be really stabbed at.
What's up, Jack? Tell us how it is.
I think that if they can get Jadeveon Clowney to come in at that $8 million, $6 million mark, you take him. I don't really like the guy that much. He's not really my prototypical. When you're looking at the depth issues that this team has right now along the defensive line, especially on the ends, it's really a no-brainer to me to go after somebody like that. And, they're having a little bit, why not maybe even see if you can kick down on the inside a little bit if you're going to your nickel and dime set and have, Bosa, Ford, and Clowney on the field all at the same time. I think it's a chance that you got to take, and the Niners window is not going to be open for very long.
Yeah, Clowney is actually pretty effective from the inside. He's very strong. And as an edge rusher, he doesn't win a lot with like bend. He kind of wins with strength and converting speed to power and stuff like that. So I think he would definitely fit as an interior rusher on pass downs. And yeah, if he's willing to come here and bail the Niners out for $8 million, you just thank him and just send him on his way next year and say good luck. So yeah, it would be a terrific addition. It seems like he's really going to hold out for whatever he thinks he is. He'd rather not play this year than play for $8 million is what it seems like to me. Leo, we got you for about the next 45 seconds, I think. So why don't you tell us what you think the Niners should do about Jadeveon Clowney?
You're probably right on that.
All right, hit us with it then.
So
Clowney.
I would say normally they should probably just carry over that salary cap to next season since it's going to be lower. But then you could also make the argument that, hey, this 49ers team, they're built for this year because look at all those free agents. regardless of the cap next year, they're not going to be able to retain all of those guys. So why not go for the Super Bowl and just go for it? And I think they probably should. If they throw out $8 million to Jadeveon Clowney and then say, hey, we'll give you, say, $3 million or so on the not likely to be earned, which it won't be counted towards that $8 million for this season. That's an extra $3 million that would be accounted to for next season if he does earn that incentive. I think that's something they should explore. Absolutely. Especially D Ford's known for injuries. Hopefully Nick Bosa doesn't act up into the season. If it does, if you're without both guys, they're in a dark hole really, really bad on the edge. So I think why not?
And again, if he goes back to Seattle, it's not good news for the 49ers.
No.
Because yes, he only plays hard about once a month, but you don't want that once to be against your team because
And he's
be the
proven
best
he
player.
will be against his team.
Yeah. So, okay, enough of Jadeveon Clowney.